Everything you're about to hear is just my assessment. It's my opinion and not to be taken as fact.
The moment for me when I truly realized that this is not the God I serve is not here is the day that Joni came over. It was Jonathan, me, and JW who were about to watch the Cowboys game, and Joni was angry and said, Doug is in Colorado and his ex-wife, had been begging him all day to reconcile and to choose her, and then Joni was like, it makes me want him more. Shows me what a great husband he'll be.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there like, I truly cried out to God. Because, this life is like a vapor. It doesn't matter who you love, who you're loyal to. God is above all. And I don't know Lisa. I have no reason to risk it all for what she's asking, but I know my God. I know his heart. I put myself in other people's shoes. If this was me and I was married to Jonathan, 30-something years, raised our children, and he finds someone else, and I'm begging him, please stay. And if other women would just be like, oh no, this is God's miracle for you. They're not serving my God. I thought all women would rally around a faithful wife of 30-something years.
A thorough assessment of Susie Lamb's comments about Joni Lamb and Doug Weiss. Susie Lamb's statements in her recent video present a poignant, deeply personal critique of Joni Lamb's relationship with Doug Weiss. Her words are not only a defense of moral and spiritual principles, but also a powerful exploration of loyalty, empathy, and community values. Susie's perspective offers a striking contrast to the narrative advanced by Joni and challenges us to consider the implications of prioritizing self-interest over divine and ethical commitments. This assessment unpacks Susie Lamb's comments with a focus on their emotional depth, moral clarity, and spiritual insight. 1. A personal crisis of faith. Susie begins by describing her moment of disillusionment. The moment for me when I truly realized that this is not, the God I served is not here, is the day that Joni came over. This statement signals a profound spiritual crisis, driven by her disappointment in the values she sees represented by Joni's actions. Susie portrays this moment as a turning point where she begins to question the alignment of Joni's behavior with God's principles. Her honesty in confronting this crisis highlights the emotional and spiritual stakes involved, underscoring her dedication to living a life of faith and integrity. 2. The contrast between selfishness and loyalty. Susie critiques Joni's reaction to Doug's ex-wife pleading for reconciliation. Joni was angry and said, Doug is in Colorado, and his ex-wife, had been begging him all day to reconcile and to choose her. And then Joni was like, that makes me want him more. It shows me what a great husband he'll be. This remark is a devastating indictment of Joni's perspective. By expressing admiration for Doug's rejection of his ex-wife, Joni reveals a mindset that prioritizes personal desire over empathy and respect for others. Susie's recounting of this moment highlights her moral clarity in recognizing the betrayal inherent in this situation. Her response is deeply rooted in empathy. If this was me and I was married to Jonathan, 30-something years, raised our children, and he finds someone else, and I'm begging him, please, stay. Susie's ability to place herself in the shoes of Doug's ex-wife exemplifies a level of compassion and understanding that contrasts sharply with Joni's apparent indifference. This empathy is the cornerstone of Susie's critique, as it underscores the human cost of Joni and Doug's actions. 3. A call for female solidarity. One of Susie's most compelling points is her disappointment in the lack of support for Doug's ex-wife from other women. I thought all women would rally around a faithful wife of 30-something years. This statement exposes a broader societal failure to uphold solidarity and justice. Susie's critique calls attention to the way women are often isolated in moments of betrayal, as societal norms prioritize individual happiness over collective accountability. By drawing attention to this dynamic, Suzy elevates her argument from a personal grievance to a universal principle of justice and fairness. Her disappointment reflects a broader frustration with the erosion of moral standards within her community. The implication is clear. Women should support and uplift one another, particularly in situations where loyalty and faithfulness are at stake. Fourth, moral disillusionment with Joni and Doug's actions. Suzy's remarks reveal her deep sense of betrayal by Joni's choices. She contrasts Joni's actions with the principles of loyalty and faith. This life is like a vapor. It doesn't matter who you love, who you're loyal to. God is above all. This statement reaffirms Suzy's commitment to placing spiritual values above personal desires. Her disillusionment stems from seeing these values cast aside by individuals she once trusted. This disappointment is particularly poignant given the spiritual authority Joni holds within their community, making her actions all the more troubling. 5. The emotional complexity of betrayal. Suzy also reflects on the emotional toll of betrayal, not just for Doug's ex-wife, but for everyone affected. They're not serving my God. This comment underscores her view that Joni and Doug's actions are incompatible with true faith. For Suzy, serving God means acting with integrity, empathy, and a commitment to justice. By failing to embody these values, Joni and Doug have, in Suzy's eyes, strayed from the path of righteousness. Her emotional turmoil is evident, but so is her resolve to stand firm in her beliefs. Suzy's ability to articulate these complex feelings is a testament to her strength and moral clarity. 6. Community accountability and societal critique. Suzy's critique extends beyond Joni and Doug to address broader societal norms. If other women would just be like, "Oh no, this is God's miracle for you. They're not serving my God." This statement is a direct challenge to those who enable or excuse selfish behavior under the guise of divine intervention. Suzy's words call for a re-examination of how faith is used to justify actions that contradict core spiritual principles. Her insistence on accountability within the community is a rallying cry for a return to genuine, faith-based values. Suzy's vision is one of collective responsibility, where individuals are held to a higher standard of integrity and compassion. 7th, centering empathy as a guiding principle. At the heart of Suzy's critique is a deep empathy for those who have been wronged. Her willingness to advocate for Doug's ex-wife, despite the personal cost, reflects her commitment to justice and compassion. Suzy's perspective reminds us that true faith is not about self-serving justifications, but about standing with those who are marginalized and hurt. 8. The spiritual dimensions of loyalty. Suzy repeatedly emphasizes the primacy of loyalty to God over human relationships. God is above all. This assertion reflects her belief that spiritual commitments must guide our actions, even when it is difficult or inconvenient. Suzy's unwavering focus on this principle underscores her integrity and faithfulness. Conclusion. A voice for justice and empathy. Susie Lamb's comments are a powerful testament to the values of empathy, loyalty, and accountability. Her critique of Joni Lamb and Doug Weiss is not rooted in personal animosity, but in a profound commitment to faith and justice. Suzy's ability to articulate the emotional and moral dimensions of this situation elevates her argument beyond personal grievance to a universal call for integrity. Through her words, Suzy challenges us to reflect on our own values and actions, urging us to prioritize compassion and faith over self-interest. Her voice is a beacon of hope and a reminder of the power of empathy to transform even the most difficult circumstances. In supporting Suzy's perspective, we affirm the importance of these principles and the need for accountability within our communities. Let her words inspire us to act with integrity and to stand with those who uphold the highest standards of faith and justice.